There we go. All right. Welcome to the channel, everyone. I have a very special guest, someone I met recently. But I tell you what, man, this conversation is gonna feel like we know each other for years.
Yeah, yeah.
Feel already. Feel already. Um, for those of you who don't know, my name is Tim, and we have today a special guest. His name is Mitch. Mitch Wright. Mitch, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on, man. You have caught the attention of many people, including myself, with your honest, real, authentic message about, obviously what we talking about, the cult we've been involved with, the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I say cult, I don't hold back from that because that's
No,
sorry, that's what it is.
yeah.
Sorry, not sorry, but yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's a cult.
it's a cult. Yeah. Thanks for
Mm.
being on, man. Thanks for being on. How you doing today?
You are very welcome. I'm doing well, man. It has been a busy day, and I'm so glad you texted me earlier. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like about to be 55, and all day is like it's like I'm supposed to be doing something, and you text me and like, are we still on? I was like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
it's been busy, but I am happy to be here with you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We busy doing the Lord's work, right?
For real, like we really are now. We thought we were,
Ain't that the truth?
but
Ain't that
now
the
I really
truth?
feel like I am truly.
Yeah, no, for real, for real. So let's just get into it, man. Can you briefly kind of share like your background, how you
Mhm.
became involved with Jehovah's Witnesses, like what was the start and what was it like for you while you were in the culture and your level of involvement?
Okay, so I was born and raised in it. I was born in 1970. My parents got baptized in 1966, and so it's like that's all I've known my whole life, you know. And my father, he became an elder in like 75 or 76. So always the eldest kid, always had to be a certain way. And what I tell people, and I don't hold back because I like being truthful and transparent. I liked being in it. You know, I liked the structure. I liked what they taught. If it was from the Bible, if I felt like it was from the Bible, I was all on board with it. And I just like I like doing the things I did. I got baptized at age 16. And
Okay.
I have to tell people too, like I was not forced. Like I had privileges before I got baptized in the congregation, and I knew just as a natural progression, if I wanted to keep moving forward, which I did because I was all in, at some point I would have to get baptized. And I like that my parents never, with the three of us, me and my siblings, they never forced us. They never told us when. They always said whenever you think you're ready. And so yeah, at 16 I got baptized. At 18, I'm the assistant literature servant. So I'm progressing fast, and I'm giving talks and I'm doing things. So I was like all in. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
So you were the oldest of three children?
Middle child syndrome. So,
Middle child. Okay. Now, what
so
about the other two? Were they all into it like you
oh
were?
yeah, my
Okay.
sister, she man, she got baptized when she was 9, and
Oh,
it,
nine.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
she knew. I always teased her. I said it's like you came out the womb pioneering. Like she just she loved it, and she knew. She said she knew when she was 9 she was just ready. And like her
Wow.
summer vacations from school, she would be like auxiliary pioneering. And up until her death last year, she was a regular pioneer, and she was one of my biggest supporters. Like listen to every part, every talk I had on Zoom, and before I could hit my seat, she's sending me a text telling me about it. And like,
Okay.
so she was all in. My brother, he's 10 years younger than me.
Okay.
He's an elder now. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, my
okay.
family, yeah, deep in it.
Okay. So that leads me to my next question. You kind of answered it, and my condolences for your loss of your sister too last year.
Thank
That was last year, you said?
Yep, last September. Mm,
Okay. Okay. Coming up on a year. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Thank you, man.
Now did she die a witness too?
Oh yeah, yeah. She
Oh,
died
really?
a regular pioneer until the day she died. She was a regular
Okay.
pioneer. She had a 2-year battle with cancer. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay.
Hmm.
And so now out of your family, now outside your immediate family, is there extended family that's also in the organization?
Um, a couple of my mom's cousins, and then my father's sister-in-law. But other than that, none.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So how was that before we go back to kind of, the background a little bit? How is it now with your family? Like, how is it now that you stepped out, you've left, you obviously the only one who left, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So with my sister passing, because I left December of 2024 last year.
Okay.
She passed in September, and that was my father's firstborn, only daughter.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
it was hard hearing him
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the phone, and trying to console him. That was September. December, I've just had all I can take with the organization. I walk away. My thing is, I didn't. What I said was I would tell them, but at a later time. Also, add to that, my mom's dementia is a lot worse. So he's dealing with
Okay.
her too now,
Okay.
my father. And so I was just like, maybe sometime next year I'll tell. And like I was telling you before we started recording, I walked away in December and I was just kind of doing my own thing by myself, talking to no Jehovah's Witnesses, nothing. I was just excelling and trying to figure out life. And
Right.
then when I woke up to the dark side of the organization that I didn't know about, now that changed my thinking. I don't like that was their whole life. My parents, they
Yeah.
learned it in their early 20s. They're in their 80s now, and the way I feel now, everything he's been through, I don't want to tell him. Like I just want them to finish out their life on this earth, clinging to that hope that they've had since 1966.
Right.
And I know
I
my
get
brother know. My nephew, my nephew stumbled. My daughter told me he stumbled on my TikTok account, the Ex-Jehovah's Witness TikTok account. He told my brother. So I know my brother knows. He hasn't said anything to me. And like I was telling my wife, if my brother know, my father know.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
haven't heard from anybody.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So you don't really before this happened, were you guys close? Did you talk often or not
Yeah,
so much?
we talked a decent amount more. Um, like my sister, and I think that's what she was trying to do is bring us together. But I've always been kind of like the black sheep of the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
They've never even been in trouble like with the congregation.
Okay.
But me, I have a long rap sheet.
Like in the court systems, huh? You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
you
Oh
got
yeah, yeah. I walk in the Kingdom Hall, you hit a Law and Order, dong dong. Like what Mitch do this week?
Okay, okay, okay. So it's safe to say that you believed it, but you also it sounds like maybe your real nature or your real spirit of who you were was also battling
Oh
the
yeah,
identity of the witness version of Mitch.
oh yeah. And that's what I told everybody. I was quite honest with everyone, whether it was my wife and kids or like some of the elders who really knew me well and
Okay.
knew my background. Like
Yeah.
they knew that was my struggle. I told them one of the biblical passages that I really related to was Paul when he
Okay.
said, "Miserable man that I am." He said it was a war inside
Mm,
of me. Like I want to do what's right, but me, who I am, pulls me away from the law. And that's how I felt every day. Like I loved like the truth, like they call it the truth, but
right. Right.
I enjoyed it and I felt I valued it. But then I had this other side of me, the like who I am as a person, um, just and my genetic makeup from if you knew some of my relatives and
Yep.
yeah, it's just like that's who I am. I like certain things and that always pulled me. I was always pulled my whole life, just pulled, you know.
Yeah. Now, while you were in and you believed it to be the truth, was there anything that you ever kind of questioned but kind of ignored?
Um, I didn't like something that always bothered me was just the end never coming.
The
Like
end never
that
coming.
always bothered me. It was
Yeah.
like and I wholeheartedly believed it when I was young and when I was a teenager, and like that's some of the things I had to get over was the anger because I made a lot of life decisions while I was in high school based off of this world not going to last too much longer.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I went from like me and my friends joking around, oh, we probably won't even get to high school, graduate high school. Oh man, we probably won't get to 25. We got to 25. Oh man, we're not going to get to 30. And then that's when I would say, uh, when I hit 30 and it was Y2K, that's when I
Hmm.
really started to become jaded. And as an adult, I would say, yeah, like something snapped in me after kind of like after 9/11. And I was a servant, but yeah,
Okay.
I would say it was just that when I told you I was split, you know,
Yeah.
the real me started winning out at that tug of war. The real me
Yeah.
started winning out in the early 2000s, and yeah, that was one of the things. Like the end, not gonna be here, and like, what if this isn't true? You know, they've been saying the end coming since 1879, and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, for
yeah.
real. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now you were a servant. When did you be a when were you appointed as a servant?
The first time, the first time was like
You were 19. Okay.
1998. I was
1998. Okay, I thought you
yeah.
were gonna say 19 years old.
No,
Okay.
no, no. I was 20,
Okay.
28. I was 28. So in 1998, and I should have, and I'm open with people about this. I should have, and not in any form of manner, been appointed.
Okay.
No,
Okay. So Holy Spirit was supposed to appoint you, right?
and that Holy Spirit was probably like, no, like send him out of
Yeah.
this room. No.
Because there were some things, what was it? Something you didn't tell before that they didn't know about?
I mean, yeah, I was like, man, that was rough, man. I was like, I was living a double life as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just like I said, that pool, and then you know, you with workmates, you act a certain way. I'm at the hall, I gotta act this way. At home, I'm acting another way. Around my parents, I'm acting another way, and it's just like, yeah, things I was doing. Like you know, I've always been the one to push the limits without going over the edge. Being an elder son, I knew what could get you in that back room and what couldn't. So I would
Right.
always
Right.
push the envelope, and when I get to that line, I'm teetering over it, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, I'm gonna pull back. So
Yeah.
that's how I always been. But yeah, I should not have been appointed.
Okay. No, I can relate to that completely because I was appointed as a servant, never an elder.
Hmm.
Um, but as a servant, when they called me and said that, you know, we had a circuit overseer meeting and all that, whatever, and then they say, yeah, you know, we gonna um just gotta talk to you, but yeah, it went through and you're gonna be appointed as a servant. I'm thinking like, I don't know how that happened because I didn't tell you about some stuff that I did a few years ago. You know what I mean? Like I kept that to myself, and Holy Spirit's supposed to know that. And that was my first red flag. My first red flag that I ignored. But in hindsight, it was like that was the first like moment or first time I ever was like, wait a minute. Holy Spirit didn't tell them that, your boy was messing around. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and those all my things. Like you said, when they pull you to the side and they're telling you, those are the things going in my head. I'm like, oh boy, I did this like yesterday, and but yeah, I was, and that's when I was just like, you know what? That's not Holy Spirit. That's just they're imperfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's business decisions. That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah, and
Business decisions.
most of it with that is who you know and who like you.
That's right. That's right. It's politics. It's
Yeah,
politics.
for real. And I
It's
learned how
real.
to work that system because I was
Yeah.
when I walked away, that was my third time. You know,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and so I know how to work the system. Yeah,
So you were also an elder at one point, right?
No, no, just a ministerial servant.
Oh, just a servant.
I never wanted to be an elder. No,
Okay, okay. I
no.
thought you were an elder. Never elder. Okay.
I always told them because see, I would like I know things to do just from being around the organization. And when I started as a boy in the '70s, man, them elders were real. I was in Chicago, and I
Yeah.
used to pick each elder's brain, and I learned just from talking to all of them how I needed to move. So things became easy for me in the congregation, and I had a lot of privileges, and I did a lot of things, and sometimes they would like be in my ear, like, so when you think you want to be an elder, like these are other elders, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm doing everything I want to do. Like I give public talks, I do this, I do that, and I said I can do all this without having to worry about other people. I said you all have to have these people coming talking to you and confessing to you. And I told him, I said, I don't want to hear all that. So, like that was my
Yeah.
viewpoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus I told my wife it was always this thing in me because of how I told you I've been my whole life, just that
Yeah.
pull. I was always afraid that like, man, if I'm an elder, I would hate to mess up. Like, yeah, so I was very comfortable being a servant because like I said, they gave me so many privileges, and like elders would just they would talk to me like I was an elder and
Yeah.
tell me things.
Yeah.
And then people in the congregation would be shocked when they found out I was a servant, especially newer ones in the congregation. And, sometimes they would come telling me stuff. And I'm like, wait, 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 like, stop. And they were like, what's wrong, brother? Right. And I'm like, you need to tell an elder this.
Right,
You're
right,
not an
right.
elder? And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm a servant. And they're like, you act like an elder. And
Yeah.
I didn't know whether to take that good or bad.
I guess that can be a good thing in the hall for people to look up to you like that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they'll use servants like an elder. I remember
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was told that I was being looked at to be appointed as an elder. I remember that was at the highest point, and it never happened, and I'm glad. I'm glad it didn't
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm doing accounts, I'm doing talks, like you know what I'm saying? Like you're doing everything an elder do except being on judicial committees. You know what I mean? You're doing everything an elder would do. You just ain't getting all the privacy and all the I mean not the but the judicial committees,
Yeah.
you're not making decisions, but you're doing the work of an elder though.
For
Yeah.
real. And see,
Yeah.
you understand. I was having fun doing what I was doing. I just didn't
Right.
have that added responsibility of worrying about other friends in the hall. So I liked what I was doing. Like I posted a picture, kind of close to when I started the TikTok because I wanted to walk people through like this is who I am. I wanted them to know I'm not just some person who's been in it a year or two. So I
Right.
posted a picture of me on stage at a walkthrough at a circuit assembly. And the
Okay.
CO, like he was very strict. The CO we had at the time, he only wanted at the walkthrough, he only wanted elders. And his brothers up there from platform. I was on the AV, on the sound. So it's all those overseers, but the audio overseer was an elder in my hall, and he asked me would I go through the walkthrough with him. And I was like, Keith, like he only want elders up there, and they brought
Right.
me up there. I'm nervous as all get out. And
Yeah.
two overseers told him, they were like, look, like Mitch is a servant, but if you want the sound to go good at this assembly, we advise that you let him stay up here. And like
Right.
me and him was already cool. And yeah, I got a picture of me and all these elders up there. And while I'm up there, like while we're waiting for different friends to come take their cues through the walkthrough, they're like talking to me about elder stuff and everything. Like they accepted me.
You in the clique, brother. You in the group. You know
For
what I
real.
mean?
For
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it was too. I realized that later on too. Like it was a lot of clicks,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, like a lot of in crowd. Like, oh, if you in on this, you get to know about this, and we'll add you into this,
Mm.
even though you ain't supposed to. You
Yeah.
know.
And
Yeah.
they once they found out I wasn't like, because you tell some brothers stuff and they just blabbing at the mouth. But
Oh yeah.
I came up around my father, and he was like, he was a presiding overseer, and then they changed it to Kobe. So like I
Yeah.
knew, certain things you just don't repeat. So they would tell me stuff, confide in me, and like I wouldn't tell anybody. I would some elders come ask me advice. And the funny thing is, like some of these elders, I'm like older than them. You know, I'm in my early 50s. So they come to me for
Oh
like
yeah.
advice and stuff as young elders in their 30s. And I'm like giving them advice because I'm like the old one around. I told my wife, I was like, man, I feel old. Like they coming to me for advice now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's real. I believe
Mhm.
it too, because a lot of elders being appointed younger and younger these days.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. In their 20s.
Yeah, for real.
Imagine being 27 years old, 25 years old, and you in the room and there's a sister who's 40 something and she had these things happen with another man and she has to describe it in detail to some 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yep.
That don't even sound
Exactly.
logical, man. You know, or even if there was a
Exactly.
violation, some
Hmm.
abuse or something. Like how is he equipped? And that's another thing about elders that I learned later. Elders are not equipped. Like a lot of people are trained to psychologists, therapists, they're trained to deal with trauma events, traumatic events, and things like
Hmm.
that. Elders are not.
No. Mm-mm.
No, they're not trained in that. So all they know is what the government, their ship, they go to their shepherding book, of course, and you know that police workbook handbook,
Yeah.
and that's all they know. You know, they really don't know how to deal with that stuff. So really, it kind of undermines the what a person goes through sometimes.
Hmm.
You
And
know, it don't.
they
Yeah.
have an agenda too. And a lot of people were surprised at some of my videos that I made, but and you being a servant, you know, but like it's in those when you have a servant body meeting with the circuit overseer, like when during the week of his visit, you know, and we're in there in the meeting, and I'll never forget. But one of the circuit overseers was basically telling us we always had to have something for the friends to work on. So like
Oh yeah.
even in the shepherding call, a shepherding call is supposed to be to upbuild people and lift them up, see what's like kind of slowing them down and give them scriptural advice and help them, you know, with love. But they were like, even on the shepherding call, find something they can work on. I'm like, and that's the other part too about being an elder I didn't like. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like in the Watchtower, just always saying there's shepherd and you know that one verse they use the hell out of. They're supposed to be like a healing oil upon the head, you know. And I'm like,
Like a shelter from the storm and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another catchphrase, and I'm
Yeah.
like, they are being trained not like to be nothing like that, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't never want to be an elder.
Do you feel like the program is set up so that people can never really um they can never do enough to actually get to where they need to be. Like that's why you know even said on shepherding calls, give them something to work on. Like in other words, you're never really there. You'll never reach that pinnacle. You always gonna have something to work on. There's always something to do.
Yeah, that. I've said that so many times because, and I try to. It's people who will comment on some of my posts or they'll email me. And that's what they're saying. I never felt like I was good enough, and you know they were a publisher, and I try to tell them like, no, that's not just you. Like that's like organizational wide. People feel like that, and that's what they foster. And I tell them like, man, I was a servant, and I was at one point. The second time I was a servant, I told them I needed help. The elders. I I was a ministerial servant. I was over the AV department. I was
Mhm.
over the attendance. I was the literature servant. I was the magazine servant. I was the territory servant. I gave public talks. I did the like different parts on the midweek meeting, the Living as Christian parts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would conduct the congregation Bible study. Like I was doing a lot, but at the same time I was doing all that. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Sometimes an elder would say something to me to get me like make me feel that way. I'm depressed, feel horrible, and my wife had to pick me up. Like, you know, mom, look at what you're doing, all this. And she's like, look at
Yeah.
how much you do. She used to get livid because I
Right.
would have that feeling because of everything I did. I'm still feeling that way. So I try to tell people it's not just you. That's no matter who you are, you feel like that in that organization slash cult. You feel like you are never enough. You feel like you will never uh, be good enough. You feel like you're not doing enough. And they like that's what they foster
Yeah.
always to cling on to them. And the way they do that is they know what to say. They know like phrases to use to make you feel like that you're an undeserved, undeserved. What did they say? Undeserved slave. You don't
undeserved
deserve it.
kindness,
Yeah, you don't
a good
deserve
for
it.
nothing slave.
That's it. Good for nothing slave. And you keep hearing that crap, and then you start believing it. And
Oh
like
yeah,
I've seen it every congregation I've been to. It's just even pioneers. I just feel like I don't do enough. You know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's something too because like you said, and specifically when you bring up pioneers, it makes. I remember thinking like if you don't get a certain amount of hours out in field service, you weren't really spiritual.
Hmm.
Or if you didn't really do enough commenting at the Kingdom Hall, you really weren't spiritual. Your
Hmm.
spirituality was based on actions, time, energy, you know what I mean? Like that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
tangible stuff.
Yep.
When really, and honestly, like it really has nothing to do with spirituality. That's just, and publisher, when you say publishers, somebody brought it up recently. I said, ain't that something? I've always known that when I woke up that I realized this is a publishing company.
Yeah.
They're a big real estate mogul, but a publishing company, and guess what your rank is for everybody? You're a publisher of a publishing company. Like, man, oh my goodness. If this ain't business, if this ain't a business, man, come on, man.
I make myself sound so old because I'm like, people asking me questions in these comments, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I sound like a dinosaur. But I'm like, people are like, you used to charge for literature? I was like, we most certainly did.
Oh yeah. Was it 50 cent or something like that? Some
Oh
I
man,
remember
when I was a
dollar.
boy, magazines were 10 cents. Like when they stopped, it was I want to say like 50 cents, but the books were like 2.50. The thicker ones was even higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I was a kid. The early 80s, I remember magazines came in that brown wrap paper, came in your home, that brown wrapper. And
Yeah.
but when you go on field service, you charge like 50 cents for the magazines. You had and I
Yeah.
remember collecting the money and go putting it in the contribution box.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a
I,
business
I would
then.
I would tax
It's
them sometimes.
say what?
I said,
You kept some of
said,
that?
I said I would tax them sometimes. I have to spend some of that at the donut shop. Like shoes, they're gonna get theirs, but I'm the one out here walking. So
Right, right, right. Now you
yeah,
think about the money they pull in, it's crazy, man. But let me ask you this, Mitch. What was there a specific moment or like that first made you question the organization? Like, was there a moment that was like, you know what? Something really like kind of like set off that motion of like something might not be right with this organization. Was there a specific moment or was it gradual?
it was. I would say two things. One was that um, fiasco dealing with the generations.
The generation.
Generations, because
Yes.
like
Yes.
I mean, they would say it till they were blue in the face when I was a boy. Like if this person, if this group of people who was around in 1914, like they ain't
Mhm.
gonna be here before they pass away. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And they would give all the reasons as to why they said that. And so that I mean, these people are getting old, and I'm watching nothing happening still. So and then they came and like gave that whole explanation. Well, we did more research and generations can overlap. And in my head, the people in the like hall, they like excited. You hear this new light, and in my head, I'm like, ain't this about some BS? And I told like one brother who I was really really close with in Atlanta. I told him after the meeting, like, I'm not feeling this really. And he's like, I'm not either. But who like you can't say that out loud there.
Right,
They'll
right,
stamp a big apostate stamp on your forehead. But
right,
it's like
right.
I didn't feel comfortable with that. The other thing, the older I got and the more conscious I got of like racial stuff, it always bothered me that if this is supposed to be like this big international brotherhood of love, why do all the governing body look the same? Like that was
Mm,
always my question. And that it always bothered me. But again, you don't say nothing, especially about the governing body. Like somebody might shank you if you mention the governing body the wrong way in the kingdom hall. So
oh, for
it's
real.
like, who do you tell? But
Yeah.
I would tell the only person who I could really, really tell things too would be my wife, and we would talk about things, just me and her, and I would tell her like how I felt. She came in when I was disfellowshipped the second time, so
Okay.
I really enjoyed talking to her because it's like I bounce stuff off of her, and I have a different viewpoint. Even now, as we talk, and we both walked away from the cult, I have a different outlook on things because I was born and raised in it. She
Right.
came in when she was like an adult, so we see it two different viewpoints. And so I bounce stuff off of her, and I'm
Yeah.
telling her like what I have a problem with. I feel horrible for feeling this, and then she's like, "But no, those are valid points. Like I agree with why you're feeling like that." And so it was those type of conversations with her that really like the doubts just kept growing. Yeah.
Okay. So those doubts came. What did you do after that? Did you like did you do those things were bothering you, but what did you do about it? Like, did you
Oh,
continue to go? Did you start doing
yeah.
research? Like, how did you
No,
go about
no,
verifying your feelings?
nothing. I didn't do anything about it.
Okay.
Like, she was the only one who knew. Like, what
Okay.
do they? I was like, I, we joke now, but I consider myself now that I look back. You know, when somebody is like deep in work and they do anything for the company, they call them a corporate man. Like
Yeah.
spiritually, I was like a JW corporate man. Like I
Okay.
would bounce stuff off of her what I was thinking, but I didn't say anything. I didn't look anything up because they told us don't look up stuff. You know, if you look up stuff apostate saying they're demonically influenced, they influenced by Satan, they telling lies, they just want to persecute us. So I didn't look anything up. I didn't. Yeah, I was just like, I guess it's stuff in my head. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep being faithful.
Yeah. When
Mm.
did you stop? When did you like when was what was the turning point?
I May of 2023, I'm
Okay.
sitting at convention, and I had done everything that I wanted to do, like spiritually, like the goals I had made, and I had reached the last goal I made because when I was, and I posted about this too. When I was a boy, we're sitting in a racetrack at Chicago at the district convention, and we sat a couple of rows behind the AV department, and I watched them all 4 days of the convention. And Sunday, I told my parents, I was like, I think it's so cool what they do. One day I want to do that. And they both just kind of looked at me, chuckle, yeah, okay, one day you will. But
Mhm.
I finally, May of 2023, I finally was on the AV department at a regional convention. And I'm sitting there because, I'm older. I done been through so much now. And I'm sitting there, and by Sunday, I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired of like going through the motions. And I've seen so much hypocrisy. I've seen personal examples like of how unloving this organization can be. I'm tired of doing all this stuff, and I don't really think they know when the end coming. Like,
Right.
have I been living this life in vain? I'm tired of putting on this mask of who they think I am, but I know, and my wife know, and my kids know who I really am. Like, I was just tired, and it was May of 2023 at the convention, and I'll never forget because the AV overseer came up to me after we broke down the big old monitor wall, the video walls. And he
Mhm.
came shaking my hand and saying it was a pleasure having me in the department. Like you are in next year. I look forward to working with you. And I told him, I looked him in the eyes and I was like, no, I'm good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm straight. In my head, I already made up my mind. And I
Yeah.
said, I appreciate the opportunity because like I was always an attendant, like deep in the attendant department, and I wanted to just do it once. And so I pulled some strings, and like he was basically telling me, they told me at first, like, we'll try you out this year and see how you do. That's all they said. But by Sunday, they saw like how I did, and he was basically telling me, you in now. Like I look forward to it next year. And I told him, no, like I really appreciate the opportunity. You didn't know me, but you believed in me. I appreciate it, but I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll probably be an attendant next year. That's what I told him. Later on that night, me and my wife talking at home, she was like asking, how did I like it? Am I going to do it again? Like, I know you wanted to do it all your life. I was like, I did it once. It was stressful, but fun.
Yeah.
I've accomplished it. I'm good. I don't want to do it anymore. And she kind of looked at me. But see, I knew I wanted to leave, but I couldn't tell my family because at the time I just thought I was thinking of like my wife and two kids, like they're still in it. They like it. They can't know that like how I feel. So basically
Right.
from May of 2023 to late last year, they kind of thought like I was still all in, and but mentally I wasn't. And now I laugh now because I would be talking to ex-JWs and they kept saying Pimo. And I
Yeah.
finally I was like, can y'all tell me what Pimo is? And they were like, you physically in but mentally out. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I said, well, I was Pimo since May of 2023. And they like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny those terms. I learned those terms too, like obviously from XJW. Like, what is a POMO,
Yeah.
PMO, EMO, and all these different terms? And it's like, you know what though? They make perfectly sense.
Oh yeah.
There are
I
people who
I
just
went
go
through
with
the
the
motions.
flow. Yeah,
Hmm.
they just go with the flow, but mentally they like, I'm not into this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You can the I love this post because I tell people when you're in an organization, we thought we were happy. Like,
yeah.
you just, everybody running around best life ever. You think you're happy. Me being out now, and I haven't even been out that long compared to some of the people I talk to. Some people have been out 10, 20, 30 years.
Right.
I just left in December and I can feel how much happier I am already.
Yeah.
And so I'm going through my pictures in my phone and I have it pinned at the top of my TikTok account. I'm on a stage giving a public talk, and this public talk was 2 weeks after that convention I'm telling you about in 2023. And I look and the look in my eyes, and I'm giving a talk, but the look in my eyes, and I'm like, oh man, like I do not look happy. Like, and yeah, it's pinned on the top of my TikTok account, and it's just that's how it was for me giving every public talk, every part in the Living as Christians. I was just going through the motions up there on the platform. Like,
Yeah.
even sometimes I knew it was bad. Like, I knew it was time for me to walk away from the platform. And a little bit before my sister passed, when a few people came up to me at the meetings asking me was anything wrong. I just didn't see
Really?
myself. Yeah, they, Brother Wright, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What? And you just don't seem yourself lately on the platform. Like you just
Yeah.
seem like something is troubling you. And I was like, yeah, it's time for me to stop. Because like
Yeah.
I always took meetings seriously, and I'm like, if they can visibly see that I want to be anywhere but there, then it's time for me to stop speaking. And that's
Yeah.
what I did. I told the elders I need a break. And that was my exit strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not know that there are literally strategies on how to exit the Jehovah's Witness
Yeah.
cult. You
See
know?
that I wanted to do it on my terms.
Yeah.
And like the closer I got to December, I look back now and I can see like my whole mentality changed. And I've seen things throughout the organization over decades. I know how they operate, and to me, it felt like control, another control tactic. And so I'll tell you this: when you are a servant, it's two different options. You can get deleted, or you can step down. And like I'm gonna be real, this is real. When you delete it, that means you've done something,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
can remove you. They
Yeah.
they prefer that over a brother stepping down. When a brother steps down, it makes them look bad, they feel.
That's right.
And so
That's
I was
right.
like in my head, I'm like, okay. My first step was I told the I told the young brother who coordinates public talks. I had to struggle with him so bad. I told him, please do not schedule me for public talks. I need a break.
Yeah.
Like on the app we use, 2 or 3 weeks later, I get this alert like I'm supposed to give a talk at our congregation.
Oh, really?
I text him. I'm like, I asked you not to schedule me for public talks for a while. Oh, I thought you just meant away public talks. So I scheduled you for
Oh,
one at our congregation. So I'm like, bruh, no, like I don't want to give any public talks. And so he got that. So I stopped. Had to talk to the Kobe. Like, I need a break. can, like, I don't want to give any parts and living as Christians. I don't want to be chairman on Sundays. Like, I just need a break. I have so much going on. So they
Hmm.
stopped doing that. And then I told them I wanted to step down, and it was a little bit after my sister passed away. And I was like, this is the perfect time. Told them I wanted to step down. One
Yeah.
the picture I posted, one of the elders that came to my door over the weekend, he came to me, like personally came to my house when I first told them I wanted to step down in September of last year. And he was
Yeah.
like, we talked about it as a body. And in our book, the shepherding book you mentioned, we're told, like, if a brother goes through like major life changes, don't accept when he want to step down. Let them think about it, because sometimes they go through so much that they might feel they want to step down. In my head, I'm like, I already know I want to step down, but I'm like, okay, I'll play that game. I told them a second time, like a month later, and same thing. They didn't get what they do. They ghost you when the elders want to do
Mm.
something, and they like
Right.
nobody getting back with me. So I finally reached out to him again, and I was pretty stern the third time. And I was like, look, like, I've gone through a lot the last part of this year. I'm done. I'm tired. Have somebody be over the AV department, have another brother be over the attendance. Like, I'm already not doing parts. I appreciate that, but now's the time for me to step down. I need to step down. Like, I'm not with it up here. I
Yeah.
said, talk to whoever you need to talk to, like, talk to the circuit overseer, but I'm done. And they finally, like, I think like 2 weeks later, they announced that I stepped down. And I wasn't even at the meeting. And I, like,
Okay.
at a certain point in the evening, my phone just started going crazy. And I'm like, what in the heck going on? And apparently they announced it that I stepped down. And I got so many like nice texts from friends saying they appreciate me. They appreciate everything I did. They understand why I stepped down. And so, yeah, I say all that to say that was part of my strategy to walk away, my exit plan, because
Yeah.
I wanted people to know that it was my choice. Because they're like elders, man, they love to get up there. Oh, brother Wright has been deleted. That means the congregation like, brother Wright has done something wrong. I wanted them to know I stepped down. It was my choice. And then after that, I just faded away. Yeah,
Okay.
I did
Okay.
not go back.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Some people do disassociation letters.
Yeah.
Faded away. What's your thoughts on a disassociation letter?
I tell, I let people know that we all have our different reasons. I
Right.
get, I understand why some want to write a disassociation letter, because they tell me, like, I need that finality of it. I want to just, like, I'm cutting the cord, I'm done, and I want them to know that. And
Right.
I respect everybody. In my head, I guess since I've been around the organization so long, I see it different. I see it as just a control tactic from the elders. Like, this is
Yes.
another way we control you. So, like, they would never get a letter from me. If had I been home over the weekend when those two elders showed up, I would have just told them, like, I have nothing to talk about. I'm not coming to the hall to like talk. They want to pull you in so they can be nosy and see if you warrant a committee meeting. That's basically what they're trying to do. Have you done anything where we need to have a judicial committee for
Yeah.
you? Which I already know the answer to that. Like, yeah, you look at my profile picture, I got a big ass cigar in my mouth, you know? Like,
Right. 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 Like already.
yeah, like, I don't need to go to the hall for you all to put me down. Like,
Right. 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 Um, man, you say you were disfellowshipped and obviously you got reinstated, right?
I was
Uh,
just fellowship twice, yeah.
Twice.
Hmm.
How was the feeling after being reinstated? How did you feel about the truth after that?
I was so the first time it happened, you can tell a difference how the friends treat you
Yeah.
in talks and in magazines. It's like, oh, you're gonna be welcomed by God's flock with open arms. They're just happy to gain their brother or sister back, and you don't feel like that. People look at you side eyed. I tell people you're quote unquote marked in the congregation. People treat you different, and that was the first time. The second time with when I met my wife, because I we met while I was disfellowship, and so she always knew I wanted to go back. I felt I had to go back, but like obligation crap and all that.
Yeah.
So when we were going to the Kingdom Hall after I started trying to work my way back to being reinstated, and she's having her Bible study, and she didn't tell me this till later on, and it's probably good she didn't tell me at the time, but she said people would treat her as if she was disfellowship, like
Really?
they wouldn't talk to her. When I
Wow.
found out, I was livid, and it's like she said she could see the difference because her and this other sister, they started studying at the same time, like both of them from the world, just learning it as adults. She said while I go out in the car after the meeting, her and the sister talking, they would talk to the other Bible student, but my wife said some wouldn't even look at her, they wouldn't talk to her. The only thing they would say is like ask questions about me. Some would even go as far as to, "Oh, what did he do?" And I had already schooled her before we even walked a foot in the Kingdom Hall. I'm like, if anybody asks you what I did, you just look them dead in the eye and say, you need to ask him when you can.
I
Yeah.
know that's right.
So I
I
had
know
a
that's right.
bad taste in my mouth about the organization, about that, like how they treat you when you're back. And
Yeah.
even the congregation I got reinstated in, they treated me a certain way, even when I was a ministerial servant. Like they still treated me a certain way compared to the new congregation I was in. So it's definitely a difference when you get disfellowshipped and go back. They treat you weird.
Yeah, for sure. You get some people who like, oh, I'm so glad to have you back, but in hindsight, it feels so fake.
It's fake, right?
Fake. And then like you said, you really do see those different attitudes towards you.
Oh
The
yeah.
energy is just different. Energy is real. You can't deny energy.
Hmm.
And the energy is different when you've been disfellowshipped and get reinstated because it's like, oh, you might be trouble. You might be trouble. I can't be too close to you. You
Yeah,
reinstated, but you still might be like on the edge. You might still want
yeah.
to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's
And
man,
tell
yeah.
you can tell the elders' wives who know why you got in trouble compared to the ones who don't know. Like they even treat you differently, and I'm like, okay, he talked to his wife about everything.
I
And
didn't know that before, but elders be telling their wives what's going on in me. They be having them elders meetings. The sisters be out there waiting. They out there gossiping about what they have it talking about in the meeting back there. They know because they be telling them. They be
I, everybody, they be like people pick my brain about like just being in the elder family, and
yeah.
they laugh because I tell them how long the elders meetings used to be. When I was a boy, elders meetings used to be an hour, 2 hours after.
Oh man.
So all the elders' families waiting out there. I said, y'all don't think I'm playing, but the elders was in a room behind a closed door during their meeting. All the elders' wives was in the corner, and they were having their own elderette meeting. Like, like that's facts.
Yeah, an elderette meeting.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
used to
yep,
call them
yep,
elderettes.
yep. No, that's real. That's real. Because I'm sorry, their husbands were not, and I ain't gonna say all of them, but I know for sure there were some who were telling their wives stuff. The look on their faces would tell you, like you said, they would talk to you, and the way they talk to you is like, "Oh, you know something."
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
tell easily. 'Cause
yeah,
especially for the stuff I got in trouble for. Like, they just like clutched their pearls when I walked by. You would
yeah.
think Lucifer walking past them in the Kingdom Hall. And
Right,
I was
right.
like, oh yeah, he told his wife.
So looking back now, what do you see more clearly about the organization that you didn't see before?
Just man, how the governing body, how they have the wool pulled over everyone's eyes.
Ooh-wee.
They think and just being out now and looking at some of these creators' content and certain words and phrases that they use over and over, especially in broadcast. I would say it got worse You know, when we were young, maybe you would get a governing body member at your district convention. Maybe. Or
Maybe.
we would see a still shot in the magazine. Now with the broadcast, like they have so much more influence over the organization because, oh my goodness, the broadcasts come out the first Monday of each month. If it's a governing body member that's hosting it, my phone going crazy. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
governing body member hosting. And so it's like they have a huge influence. And I've just been watching some of the creators string along how many times they say certain phrases.
Yes.
Like it gets stuck in our head. And, and
Yes.
they have the wool pulled over everyone's eyes. They try to seem genuine and they try to seem discreet, but then they say things that tell you and show you that they aren't because like they get that they're the channel, God's visible channel on earth.
Mm,
He's directing us. God and Christ is directing us.
mm,
They
mm.
turn around and made another video. God don't he don't share his light all at once. It's progressive. So if like this part, like I was livid. He literally looked in the camera and said, "So if we get it wrong, we don't have to give you an apology or an explanation." And I was like, that's that bullshit. Like that's like now me being out and seeing clearly,
Yep.
they're fakes. They're con artists. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's a big real estate scheme. They
Yeah.
collecting money. Like, ah man, there's so many things that I see wrong now that I just wasn't when I was the corporate man, I wasn't seeing.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, they keep, and it's funny too how they highlight Acts chapter something, verse something about unlettered and ordinary men. Like, be privileged. You should know that ordinary people are above everybody else because they're associated with the most high God and nobody else is. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of manipulation, mind manipulation that they
Yeah.
pull over people. And that's why the egos in the congregation of brothers who get elder positions, ministerial servants, those egos go through the roof because they feel like, oh, we the best in the world, and guess what? I'm one of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Or how they act when a circuit overseer comes in town. I've never seen so many people going field service until the circuit overseer come in, and like it's 80 people going to service when normally on that Wednesday there's about, I don't know, 10 to 12 people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they literally you're worshiping men. And honestly,
Yeah.
the governing body coming on the broadcast is just my opinion. I think it was a business move for them to show themselves more, but I think that's backfiring because now you're looking at, wait a minute, y'all not all that special. Especially when you look at the way especially let when don't nobody talk like that, okay? Don't nobody talk like that.
I heard away from the camera he don't.
I bet he don't, because
That's
that's
what
not natural.
I've been hearing it. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
nobody talk to you like that. Yes, brothers. Like, man, come on, man. What is wrong with you? Like, huh? If somebody walked to me like that, you'd be like, no, I'm okay,
Yeah.
buddy. Yep.
Yeah. I heard somebody wrote me a letter. It was a long email, and she was saying that's when she really got turned off about all of them because he came to an assembly, one of their assemblies, as the guest speaker,
Yeah.
and she said she told him her husband he had did a lot for the organization. He passed away, and she's telling Brother Lit about this and everything. She said she spoke for like 5 minutes, just pouring out her heart to him. She said he looked at me, and all he said, Mitch, was keep your eye on the prize. I was like, that's all a governing body member said to you. She was
That's
like,
all
yeah,
he got, huh? Wow.
keep your eye on the prize, and walked away. I was like, see,
Wow. The title, look, that's the title of a Kingdom Melody. That's what he gave her. Gave her the title of Kingdom Melody. Yeah.
they're frauds, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you what, let me ask you this. If the governing body was sitting in front of you right now, you had a chance to talk to all of them and they was like had your attention. Um, what would you want to say to them or ask them?
Man, I would like I get emotional some videos I make because I'm so pissed because of like I said, my parents are in their 80s, and I
Yeah.
think about all of them and their friends. This was their hope. This was their dreams, their beliefs. and they would get like an earful from me about how I think they're frauds and how they have defrauded people and lives and ruined lives. Like I would be very open with them, and I would hope one of them would be Samuel Hurd because I met him when I was a boy in Chicago.
Oh, really?
He was the district overseer when I was a kid in Chicago. So when that district overseer, when it was a thing, and
Yeah.
he would come around sometimes with the circuit overseer, and before the week of the circuit assembly, they would have a host congregation, and both of
Mhm.
them are with the congregation going out and field service with them. It would be one night in a week at the hall. They both give talks. So one of his visits, he was the district overseer. Him and the circuit overseer actually came to our family's house to eat dinner.
Wow.
I heard, and he was. I met him the first time I met him was at a circuit assembly though in Chicago, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was like no matter if it was even him, I would just let them know how wholeheartedly ashamed I am of them.
Yeah.
For the lies, the deceit, um, the double talk, and they paint ex-Jehovah's Witnesses as fanatics and angry. And it would just I would talk to them just like I'm talking to you. Like this isn't
Yeah.
anybody a fanatic. I'm not angry. I'm not like flying off the deep end. This is just like man to man. I'm telling you what I feel, and that's exactly what I would tell them. Like I don't believe it anymore. You know,
Yeah.
I believe some of the aspects of what they say that's directly from the Bible. That's all well and good, but all this man-made crap and for decades you can't toast. Now all of a sudden you can. For decades we've pretty much like just dictated to you no facial hair. I got brothers coming up to me. I got just a little bit of stubble. I rush from work straight to the Kingdom Hall. Have some stubble. I have an elder. What's that? Rubbing my face. Y'all go from that to now it's acceptable. Like it's just all a fraud, and man-made rules and ways to collect money. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would tell them all that. I have no. I hope they watch my videos. I tell them the same thing I say in the videos.
Yeah. Well, I believe they have I don't know. I don't know if they actually do, but I believe they do have people that they work with, helpers or whatever. I'm sure there's somebody dedicated to watching the XJW community.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I believe I've talked to a couple of them.
Yeah.
I was real when I first started. I was taking active witnesses popping up in my comments. I was taking it too serious, and
Yeah.
and it was one that always said something. Every video they would comment, and it was the same thing, and it was like starting to like make me real mad. It would
Yeah.
be blah blah blah. Why don't you be quiet? All this third grade talk, and that's what it was. And
Wow.
I'm talking to a couple of other creators, and one of them was like, "Do you have somebody who mentioned third grade?" And I was like, "It's that's really mad." And that's what he say every video. Blah blah. Be this down. All this third grade talk, and he was like, he was like, "That's
Hold
somebody."
on. You breaking up. You breaking up. Hold on. Try to catch up. You like froze right now. Oh, now it's back. It's back now. Okay.
Okay,
But you said
he told
somebody, did you have do you have somebody third grade? That was somebody asked you?
no, that's what the comment would be. You sound like you from the
The
third grade.
comment. Right.
Yeah, that
Right.
comment. It would always be blah blah blah. Take this down. Be quiet. You sound like you in the third grade. And so another ex Jehovah's Witness content maker asked
Okay.
me, "Do somebody mention that the third grade?" And I was like, "As
Right.
a matter of fact, yeah." Like, and I told him what he said, and he's convinced. He was like, "That's somebody at the branch."
Yep.
He was like, "They have people there, like looking at our stuff," and he said that particular one, he works at the branch, and I was like, "Huh." So I tested it out, and the next time they commented, because I usually responded in my comment section. The next time I like sent a direct message and I said some very not nice things, and I never
Right.
heard from that person again. They never commented on anything again.
Yep. They don't
Yeah,
want to be found out. They don't want to be found out now. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
get it's funny though. You know what? To me, when I get those, there have been times where I get like I might get my feelings a little bit about what they said. However, most times, you know what I respond with? Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
my whole stance has lightened on them. I've come to accept that some. I try to think of how I was. I had doubts, but I was also afraid of talking to people who had left.
yeah,
And I'm like, what if some of these are looking at? I ran this by my wife. I said, what if they're looking at my content, they feel it down in here, but then because I would get afraid, I would get to
right,
a certain point when I just get afraid. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking like that. So my stance now is as long as they respect me, because it's been some tell me to hang myself. You know,
wow,
I block them, but I actually talk to active witnesses in
yeah,
direct message. They're asking me questions, and the video you made a couple of days, like, are you serious? Did that really happen? And I'm like, yeah, and
yeah,
I try to be nice, and like I said, as long as they respect me, even if they pop up on the comment, some say, oh, I'm always love Jehovah. I'm gonna be in the truth all my life, and all I say is keep that same conviction. I'm glad it's working for you. Like
mm,
I think if I spend too much negative energy, it's gonna take away with the audience I'm trying to reach.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No, I feel that. Um, what would you have to say to someone who is they're they're quietly questioning things, right? But afraid to leave. What would you say to them?
I would, and I tell people this daily. Just I'm not trying to tell somebody like what to do. For some people, that organization works for them. They need that in their life.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people to just keep testing everything. Like, don't listen to me, just me. Listen to other creators. I repost other creators' things that I like what they're saying.
Right.
Listen to all of us. All of us cannot be lying. Like, we're telling you straight up what's happened to us, what's happening. I post documents from courts, from governments. Like, I'm showing you factual things. Like, don't ignore it. And I tell them, I know it's hard. I defended that organization for over 50 years. And no matter if it was a relative, a coworker, a schoolmate, you couldn't talk bad about that organization. So I tell them, I was once you. I get it. And that's why I started on all my videos. I started from the beginning to show them I'm not some person who studied the Bible a year, got baptized, and left in 6 months. I
Right.
gave this for half a century. Like, I
Right.
gave the organization my all. And so I try to tell them, just look at it with an open mind. And if you still feel it's something for you, I'm not gonna stop you. But
Yeah.
it was somebody last week, and she asked me a couple of questions. Somebody wanted to study with her, and she said she came across my account and wanted to know if different things true because it's opposite of what they're telling her. And I said I'm being truthful. I'm being transparent with you. I said there are good people in the organization. I have no beef with them. I have a beef with the governing body and their helpers and elders in certain
There you go.
congregations.
There
And
you go.
so I'm just like, listen to everything with an open mind, open heart. She messaged me like 2 or 3 days later and said she's just been looking at everything and she just can't do it. Like, I can't study with them. I feel bad because I like her. And I was like, yeah, they're good people. But you
Mm-hmm.
gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta think about it's something that you're lining your life up with, and if you don't believe in it fully, like, don't do it. And
Yeah.
and it's things like that. If I could just touch one person, I'm good, you
Yeah.
know. But it's yeah, just if you're thinking about it or they're trying to get you to study, like, think about it with an open mind and an open heart. One was pretty messed up because it was a lady who messaged me and she said it was actually a male Jehovah's Witness trying to get her to study with the sister. And I already knew, but I'm just playing dumb. And I'm like, that's weird. Why? And she, oh, he wants to date me, so he wants me to become a witness.
Ah, wow.
I said, so I was like, yeah, you really look at all my stuff and then you decide if you want that to move forward. She was laughing.
Wow.
Yeah, she was even like, I thought you all aren't supposed to like be with anybody out your religion. I was like, bingo.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's man, I enjoy having you on, man. These
Yeah.
conversations like this. It's and what you said, that's really my whole intentions of starting. I didn't want to speak out either, man. It took me we before we started this, I told you it took me some years before I decided to get public about speaking out.
Mm,
But when you think about it, as a witness, what are you told to do? Speak the truth, right? You're
yeah.
supposed to speak out against what's false and stuff like that. But if you don't believe in this no more, you're supposed to be quiet.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
That's the ironic thing. They want you to shut up.
Yeah.
Oh man. I appreciate like you and the message you're putting out. I'm so glad we met because I'll be open. It's
Yeah.
nice to see not only another male, but it's nice to see like an African American male too. Like, it's
Yeah.
like we need to show every aspect of this organization, whoever we can reach, we need to show like each community, the injustices and lies being
Yeah.
told by that community. And you're very well spoken. I laugh. I told my wife, I was like, it's funny because they've created us. Like they taught us they taught us how to be good speakers. and,
They
and
did,
and
didn't
now
they?
we're speaking
Yeah.
against them. So I enjoy listening to you. I like your content. So yeah, keep it up. I'm glad you spoke up. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. It's at some point it was like, you know what? I feel like if I don't speak out, I'm condoning what they're doing, you know? Um, and for me, it was about the CSA. That was my biggest reason for speaking out. I learned a bunch of stuff, but that to me is that's the equivalent when you unalive somebody.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst crimes you can do. To me, a child, a kid is the closest thing to whatever you want to call God or whatever, the closest thing to purity and innocence.
Yeah.
And when you mess with that, you messing with like universal karmic law, God, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how I feel. And so an organization that put up with that, like not only put up with it, actually conceals it. And they have lawyers who are like trying to hide stuff. Man, that
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm
And these predators
yeah.
in the same congregation with their accuser. So the
Oh,
accuser have
oh,
to, a little kid have to see this dude on the platform trying to talk like he all holy and all that while reliving what this monster have done to them.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, the congregation, I mean the congregation and the organization just allows it. Like that was a huge factor for me.
yeah.
I was telling you before we recorded it, and when I found out and saw proof of it
Yeah.
happening, it opened up my eyes and like they created the monster I am now.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And you're right too. It's funny. They oh, what did you say? I just lost my thought. But no, what you said about um I forgot. But anyway, they created people who speak out. Like
Mhm.
you said, with the training about teaching from the theocratic ministry school about speaking in public and things like that. Well, thank you, because now we can put it to good use. You know what I mean? Now I can really use it to speak out. It's like it's like a backfiring or something. Like it
Yeah.
backfired on them.
Yeah.
And more and more people, and I love it. More and more people are starting to come out now and just, hey, I left Jehovah's Witnesses. Why
Mhm.
I left. I left. I left. You see that every week. You see new people come out, and it's
Mhm.
been going on for a while. But
Yeah.
there's been an uptrend in it, which is why I believe the 2025 district they had that part about those that couple and the hey man, I want to show you something. No man, you don't need to show me that. He didn't even look at it. He
Yeah.
didn't look at it. He's like, no, no, no. And immediately, what did they go to? Oh, that was Jesus and Satan. I'm Jesus, that's Satan. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. That
basically
was,
saying anybody that talks against this organization is the equivalent of Satan, because
yeah.
this organization is the equivalent of God, Jehovah, whatever, what they believe
Mhm.
to be the most high or whatever.
Yeah.
So it
That
is
was their damage control. They tried.
they tried. I think honestly,
Social
everything they're
media bite
doing,
them in the foot, man.
say that again.
Social media has bitten them in the foot because like back in the day, we couldn't communicate with each other like we are now. But social
That's
media,
right.
man, we calling out lies and like
Yeah.
fact checking and everything.
Yep.
Their documents they supposed to do this vow of poverty. And why somebody send me a document from a state? One of the helpers, the governing body helpers, he's on the board of directors for this for-profit company. Like it's just, yeah. I posted that too. It's like,
Rolling in dough, man. They
oh
rolling in dough. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's sad, man. It's sad because people really believe that they live in poor. Man, they living great up there in New York.
Oh,
The
yeah,
helpers and everybody, they living like kings up there.
yeah.
And
All,
everybody's
all,
supposed to
all for the
be.
organization.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, with all these kingdom halls being built with free labor, materials and then free labor. And guess what they do 10 years later? Just sell it, make a
Really,
profit.
they
Yeah.
making crazy profit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
spend little to build it and sell it for a lot. Yeah,
That's
and
nothing that bothered me. Every assembly, when they give the financial report, have you ever heard of surplus? No, it's always a deficit. We always in a deficit, but y'all worth billions. How? What you mean a deficit? You know what I mean?
know what they do, and I made a couple of videos about this, but real briefly, like by the end of the assembly weekend, they've collected all kind of funds because they'll get up there tell you they're in a deficit.
Yeah.
What they do, they only want a certain amount in the circuit bank account or the regional bank account. They only
Mm-hmm.
want a certain amount kept.
Mm-hmm.
Everything surplus, send it to us. So the branch collected. So
Yep.
if a circuit got like $1,500 in there, but you got to pay for different things before the assembly even start, yeah, that's why the brother get up there. We're in a deficit, brothers and sisters, and everybody giving money. They're never in a deficit. They have them worded that way. Yeah, I'm in a deficit because I'm working on $1,500, paying for all
Yep.
this crap, flowers and all this crap.
Yep.
It's a money scheme. They're
It's
not in a deficit.
it's funny you say that too because when they say it is like in the middle of the convention or
Yeah,
assembly. It's never at the end. It's always in the middle of it. So before you leave, it's basically saying like before you leave, make sure you contribute so we can get
yeah,
out of this deficit we in.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a deficit. I've worked in the accounting department a lot, and there's no deficit.
Oh no. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it didn't. That was with paper money. Now they have machines where friends can swipe.
Oh
Or
yeah.
or you can be at home and decide if you want to contribute to your congregation, circuit, or region. Like they
Oh
collected
yeah.
so much money.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the paper stuff is gone. It's like, let's do it digital now. Look, they adapt, don't they? We don't pass
Yo,
collection plates, but we can adapt. We
no,
can,
they passed the app.
oh yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
JW.donate. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, you know about the update recently with Let was talking about the recurring donations, you know. Yeah, just set up recurring. Jehovah gives you recurring rain and sun every day, so you should give recurring.
They are ridiculous. They are ridiculous.
But I'm telling you, I feel like they're so desperate that I believe they're making people wake up.
They are.
I think
Yeah.
they're making people been in for a long time kind of question like this
Yeah.
is not what I'm used to. I
Yeah.
remember I remember back when I was a kid, like we talked against like TV evangelists, people who got on TV and all that kind of stuff.
Oh
Like we
yeah.
ain't got to do all that. We just go door to door. We ain't got to do all that stuff they doing.
Yeah.
Now they're doing exactly that. They're not doing door to door. They're really just doing broadcast work and virtual and
Yeah.
standing by carts. But yeah, now it's actually like the meetings are all coming from one source now. The assemblies used to have brothers giving parts. Now it's all everybody from the
Mm,
headquarters on the screen,
yeah.
giving the talks now.
Yeah.
So
That was the man when the digital age came out. They went to town. Remember when
yeah,
we were young? You remember how many applications got released at conventions?
every convention you look out for a
Yeah.
new book. We got a new book, Isaiah's
They
prophecy,
they
Daniel's
don't
prophecy.
do it. That cuts into that bottom line. They don't do it anymore. Every
No,
convention they be like, they release they release that dramatic Bible reading and they
yeah,
release the drama
yeah,
digitally. Like
digitally,
they
yeah,
keep all that money. Like
yeah.
you
They
mean when
never
all
told us,
the
but
light
I'm sure them.
show?
Say what now?
I was like, you all mean to tell me with all the new light you get, you don't have no more publications? Like nothing. We used to get publication after publication every year.
Yep.
Peace
Yep.
and security,
Yep.
like all kind of books, Revelation book. Now all we get is like two little digital copies of what we just sat through.
Yeah, they've actually dumbed down a lot of things too.
Oh,
Like it used to be the new Daniel book, Isaiah book, the new Revelation book, like the deep stuff, right? The
yeah,
meat. Now we
yeah.
ain't getting all that. We ain't talking about all that stuff before because the stuff y'all talked about before don't really apply no more. And
No,
so now let's just keep it simple. And like you said, let's just do digital products. Like, so them big printing presses, what y'all do with them printing presses y'all had? Because they was printing a lot of
a
material.
lot of stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah.
warehouses full of machinery. They
Oh
probably
yeah.
all that too.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But they kept that quiet.
Oh yeah.
There's no transparency um coming from headquarters about their money collect and all that. There's never transparency about that.
Mm-mm.
Um, yeah, it's a shame that, and you know what? We once believed it. Like you said, you defended it. You would defend it with your life. Like this is the truth. And I did the same thing. I'll be proud to defend this thing because I knew nothing else. And I never really investigated what I believe. And
I I had the same spiel for everybody, like, cause they would ask me, coworkers,
yeah.
like, y'all collect a lot of money. What y'all do with all that money? I don't see all these shelters and nothing. Oh man, it pays
Oh
for
yeah.
preaching work, and there's traveling overseers around the world, and and I'm just like telling them all the crap the branch telling us to tell them. Meanwhile, apparently, I'm finding out now they different governing body members got houses, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
all kind of crap,
Yeah.
vacations. I'm like, wow, like they
You
really,
know what? And I'm
man,
not a religious person, but I respect churches who actually help the communities. They
yeah,
give out free food, they help with like sheltering. Jehovah's Witnesses have no program set up to help anybody in the community, not even their own members. They
no,
don't have anything set up to help their members in times of distress or anything like that. And they are worth billions.
yeah. I used to ask that, and they'd be like, "Oh no, God to take care of them in the new world." I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, you'll be able to have occupancy. Each one can build
Oh,
and have occupancy. You can build your own house and
I was like,
yeah.
wow, they need help now, and their answer was, "You'll be helping the new world." I'm like, wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's sad. That's sad.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, well, I appreciate you, Mitch, man. This has been great, man. For those
Yeah,
who have stayed on this long, thanks for staying on, man. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and the realness um about this organization. And if you are a current Jehovah's Witness, Mitch, what would you want to say to someone who is a current witness who's on YouTube right now watching this content because it shows up in the algorithm and they can't help it because it's about what look, they can't help it. It's like, oh man, they're talking.
yeah.
What would you want to say to them?
Same thing to them. Just like,
Yeah,
don't lash out at us. I was you for so many years. I was you. Don't lash out at us. Sit there quietly, open your mind, and just think about what we're saying. Like all of us can't be lying about the same thing. Like just
right.
please don't lash out at us and tell us one thing I do not like when active witnesses say, "Oh, just come on back to Jehovah. We waiting for you." I've been reinstated twice. I know that's crap. Like,
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
went back now, especially after being an apostate, oh, I would be treated so weird. So it's
yeah,
like, don't tell us to come back. Like we've already made the conscious decision to step away from that cult. So just if you're gonna be here, listen quietly with an open mind and open heart, and like they always told us in that religion to test our faith. I ask you to do the same thing. Test what we're saying. If you think it's fake, walk away and don't come to our channels anymore.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
you have an open mind and you just open your eyes and just think about what we're saying, like I've seen it within the last couple of months, I've seen people waking up who are active Jehovah's Witnesses. So yeah, just don't lash out at us. Just listen.
yeah. And it doesn't have to be, a lot of people think apostates will pull you away. No, just research Jehovah's Witnesses or Watchtower, their own literature.
Hmm.
Just research their own literature. Go back to 1879 up to until 2025 and look at everything that was supposedly came from the Most High, that came from out of his mouth and Jesus' mouth, and just examine it and look at all the flip-flops. Would you trust anybody who kept flip-flopping on what they told you they were going to do? Would you trust them? No, you wouldn't. So just
And
go
one
by their
one
own
more
literature.
thing too, I will say is a lot of active witnesses say the same catchphrase. You know, why did you leave Jehovah? For the majority of the ones I talked to and myself, we did not leave Jehovah. We left a crooked organization. Whatever we believe in now, it isn't anything against God. It's against the governing body and the deceit they're doing. But like you said, the largest thing that bothers me is how they cover up CSA and they're hurting these kids. I've seen adults who have been hurt as kids and they are messed up now, like
Yeah,
mentally and emotionally because of what the organization allowed. And like that has to stop. Like if anything, think about that. Like why would you want to align yourself with an organization that supports CSA and have these predators still roaming the organization?
yeah,
Most, which I will say, most have reoffended. They move to another state and they start doing things to kids in their new congregation because the elders didn't stop it. Like that's what
right.
you need to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's serious. That's real too. That's
Mhm.
and you know what? I would respect them more if they knew they had a problem, admitted it, and did everything they could to change the rules to try to stop it. But instead of doing that, they double down
Mhm.
and they double down on it and try to say like, no, we're not doing that. It's a harmful. It's it's wickedness. But yet you double down and you paying out millions of dollars, and then you want these donations.
Yeah.
People don't realize their donations are paying for these $1 million lawsuits that you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Because they're attorneys that got sucked. Like
oh
one
yeah.
one just got busted in two lies on the affidavits and he had to pay over $150,000 fine. Like
Yeah. What's his name? Brumley? Philip
from
Brumley or something
yeah,
like that? Yeah, 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 yeah. It is
yeah,
diabolical, man. It's
yeah,
diabolical.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate what you're doing, man. I appreciate this. Yeah.
All right, man. You
Mhm.
too, man. Hey, man. I thank you, man. Look, let's stay in touch for sure.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Um, we'll have more content coming, I'm sure. Oh, for anybody who wants to reach out to you, where should they go?
Oh man. Pretty much on any social media platform, just type in Exjdub, EXJDUB, and I should pull up on like a lot. I'm on TikTok and YouTube very actively and Instagram. Also made a website, thexjwnetwork.org. And on
Okay.
there, we have a private discussion forum too, just for Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So we have privacy.
Okay. Okay. I'll make sure to put all of that. I'll put it below in the
Mm.
screen, but also in the description of this episode. I'll make sure I put all those links down there for you guys to go check
Right.
out Mitch XJ Dub. Man, I love your content. Keep up the good work, man. I'm telling you, you are helping a lot of people. You caught my attention via Instagram first, then I
Mm.
found out about your YouTube and TikTok and things like that. Um, hey man, let's keep it going, keep the momentum
Yeah.
going, helping people wake up and really be able. And the goal is really so you can be you. You can
Mhm.
have your identity and live your life and not let somebody else or some other guys you never met before control your life. This is about you. You get one life that you know about, and so you should be able to live it to the fullest. And you should be thriving and not just trying to be in survival mode. So
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. We'll get up soon. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.